Hello, everybody. Welcome to Premier League predictions for round 7. And get you, Mikey. What a performance last week. So for all of you wise guys in the comments that have a pop at us, listen to Mikey's score because he beat me 15-4 last week. That's a 24-25 season record. That let us know in the comments if you managed to beat that. Mikey, you got 4 results bang on. You could be retiring today if you'd partaken in some, well, you know what, on those particular results. You got Newcastle 1, Man City 1. That's a good shout ever backing against Man City. Brentford 1, West Ham 1. Everton 2, Palace 1. And Bournemouth, just to rub salt into the wounds last night for me in the Monday night. Bournemouth 3, Saints 1. Sometimes you have to hold your hands up, beaten by the better guy. So Mikey moves 4-2 ahead and has the aggregate points lead now 53-46. Good morning and congratulations, Mikey.
Thank you, Ben. Yeah, after you won last week, I thought I might as well start trying now. But one thing I will point out, somebody in the comments, and I know it sometimes is annoying when people in the YouTube comments criticize your predictions because nobody knows for sure. But he did say you're pretty much spot on, but Fulham are going to beat Nottingham Forest. And there was a real sort of back and forth between Fulham and Nottingham Forest fans. If I had gone for that, then yeah, it would have been a ridiculous score. But yeah, I was pretty pleased with those predictions. I'm looking at my predictions for this week and they seem as random as ever. So who knows what's going to come out next week.
Yeah, let us know. I'm sure someone's got more than 15 in the comments, but if you do, please let us know and we'll flag it up. We'll pin the comment here on the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. We're also simulcasting on the Blue Monday channel this season as well. Copy and paste the fixtures in the description there. Get your own predictions in. Score yourself 1 point if you get a correct outcome. I got 4 last week, but that was kind of irrelevant after what Mikey did. Give yourself 3 points for a correct scoreline. It's harder than you think. And give yourself a bonus point if you get a correct scoreline and that scoreline has 5 or more goals in. Mikey, here we go with the Saturday lunchtime game up first. Crystal Palace versus Liverpool.
Yeah, and Palace still looking for that first win, aren't they? I had their game at Everton described to me by my father-in-law as a game between 2 poor teams. And I think even Ezza's getting a little bit of heat off the Crystal Palace fans at the moment. They're not happy with his contributions off the ball and maybe a little bit too casual at times in possession. There's maybe a case for Eddie Nketiah getting a game in the centre-forward position. He's sort of been playing off Jean-Philippe Mateta up till now. As for Liverpool, they were a little bit loose against Wolves, Ben. I watched that game. They definitely weren't at their best. A little bit disconnected, and they're playing in the Champions League, but they've got the Tuesday night game against Bologna. I think it's Tuesday night game. So that will have already happened by the time this comes out. But yeah, a good chance that there'll be changes, especially as it's an early kickoff for them. Just brings up memories of Jurgen Klopp, doesn't it? Liverpool being in the early kickoff after Champions League. But here we go. I'm going for Liverpool to still edge this one and Palace to carry on looking for that first win. I'm going Palace 1, Liverpool 2.
Yeah, so I've backed Liverpool consistently, Mikey, but I'm going to go for the draw here on the basis of Palace kind of, can be nice and tight when they need to be. Glasner's under a little bit of pressure now. I think a draw would be seen as a good result. You mentioned the early kickoff and the Champions League. I do take your point. It's Tuesday, not Wednesday or even Thursday now. But I love a 1-1 to start with. So here it comes, Mikey. Palace 1, Liverpool 1. And I'm up first for Arsenal versus Southampton. And spoiler alert, I'm going for a home win here. Southampton, Mikey, so poor in the first half against Bournemouth in the Monday night football. Arsenal, now you were correct that Man City were going to drop points and they did. So Arsenal are back on terms. And I think this is going to be pretty straightforward. So I'm going to play for a bonus point. Arsenal 5, Southampton 0.
Okay. This isn't going to be a popular show for the Southampton fans.
Sorry, Saints fans. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going for Arsenal 4, Southampton 0. Arsenal survived a little bit of a scare against Leicester, and they're also in Champions League action. But again, I think that's another Tuesday night one. Maybe a bit of rotation. We might see Raheem Sterling and Gabriel Jesus. The only thing I can say for Southampton is they'll like playing on that Arsenal pitch. It's a nice pitch for playing out, but maybe not the right opposition. But yeah. Arsenal 4, Southampton 0.
Yeah, and remember, as always, if we both predict a team to lose and they go on a win, we will give a public apology, Southampton fans, and it's a 9-0 deficit we're going for here, Mikey. Still bottom of the table, Wolves visit Brentford, who always score in 60 seconds.
Just to go back to Southampton there, Ben, you mentioned the words 9-0. You're not supposed to mention that if you're trying to keep Southampton fans happy, or Ipswich for that matter. But yeah, Brentford, surely all of their fans are going to be in position for kickoff in this one, just to see if it's going to happen again. They love an early goal, but unfortunately, none of those 3 games where they've scored in the first minute have led to victories. No win in September, but they've got Brighton Burmo. We speak about him every week, don't we? He's banging form. Wolves, I could hear the fans getting really frustrated against Liverpool, just too slow, too indecisive at the attacking end. Wolves did win 4-1 at Brentford last season, and that was under Gary O'Neill. But I'm going to go for Brentford to win this one narrowly. I'm going 2-1 to Brentford.
Yeah, I was going to go along those lines, Mikey. I can't really see Wolves going there and winning at the moment. I think they're going to be one of the clubs that would benefit from the international break. And I know the fixtures are pretty rancid afterwards as well. Do you know what? I will double you up. I'm going to go for a Brentford win here. I just think Wolves are going to want to park this first block of games, and it's not going to end well. You've taken the 2-1, so I'm torn between a 1-0 or a 2-0. I'll go for the 2-0. Sorry, Wolves fans. No vendetta, but Brentford 2, Wolves 0. And it's Leicester City versus Bournemouth, Mike. And we're kind of looking at Bournemouth as, too good for the relegation battle and teams down the bottom. We're looking at Leicester as not terribly competent at the moment and not terribly high on morale. I looked at the stats, even though they got back to 2-2 against Arsenal. Arsenal could have scored about 15 goals in that game looking at the stats. So I'm going to back Bournemouth to go to Leicester and win. I know Bournemouth do skew better at home, don't they? So I'm going to go under. Should I go under 2.5? No, I don't think I will. I'll go both teams to score instead. Leicester 1, Bournemouth 2.
Okay, I'm going for Leicester 2, Bournemouth 2. Leicester have been really competitive in all of their games. I mean, maybe not so much against Arsenal, but they did manage to get those 2 goals to bring themselves back into it. So you have to give them a little bit of credit for that. Goals have finally come for Bournemouth. Semenyo is getting the headlines at the moment. He's somebody I'm sure you enjoyed watching in the Championship a few years ago, Ben. He's now getting his flowers in the Premier League, isn't he? So I'd expect him to score. But yeah, I'm backing Leicester to get another point out of this one. I'm going Leicester 2, Bournemouth 2.
Blue Monday is proudly brought to you in partnership with our friends at Atwell Solicitors, your ideal legal partner for work on property or business law. Their client care has repeatedly been recognised as outstanding, and they are people-focused with a plain English approach which sets them apart. They have offices in Ipswich, Colchester and London, and to find out more, head to atwells.com.
Are you going to back Manchester City to drop points again at home to Fulham?
No, I'm not. But I think it's going to be pretty close. Obviously, not having Rodri makes them weaker in possession and out of possession. And it's a little bit of a conundrum in midfield. And obviously, it's a good job that they got Gundogan in on the sort of towards the deadline in August, but he hasn't really hit the ground running yet. And he'd quite a poor game up at Newcastle. That's a difficult game, that one. And they've also really been missing Phil Foden as well. He hasn't been able to play a huge amount of football yet, but maybe he returns to the team here. Brilliant September for Fulham. They'll go to City with confidence, and they've got two players in form who have hurt Manchester City in the past in Raul Jimenez and Adama Traore. But Fulham, Ben, haven't won. In fact, I think they've lost their last 16 games at Manchester City, which I know it's Man City, but that is a pretty wretched run. So I'm going for a narrow Manchester City 2-1 win here.
Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to back Fulham because we very rarely back against Man City. When I'm doing the League One stuff, Birmingham are the Man City in League One where you just back them to win every week. I agree with what you say in terms of the weaknesses and, are they there to be got at right now? And you're right. They've got exactly the players. You're going to get Man City. You're going to have not much of the ball. Get them on transition. Traore's the guy, and you're right, he's punished them before. So let's go. Manchester City 1, Fulham 2. And
wow.
Yeah, if that comes in.
Result of the season so far, wouldn't it?
We will see. We will see. And on we go to West Ham versus Ipswich Town. And for the second time this season, Mikey, I'm going to back Ipswich Town to win. Now, Ipswich fans were very upset with us last week, Mikey, for not forecasting that a team that was in the Championship last year were going to beat a team that's in the Champions League. So hopefully they'll be happier with us this week. Had a few messages on Twitter, a few messages in the comments on YouTube, Mikey, from West Ham fans saying, watch your game against Villa. I think you're going to beat us. We're not very good at the moment. We're not very confident. The stadium can turn if you start the game well, which haven't been able to do away from home, but have done at Portman Road. So I am going to back the team that I support to win their first game of the season. West Ham 0, Ipswich Town 1.
Okay, yeah. Can I just point out that I only went for Ipswich to lose last week as reverse psychology, and it very nearly worked for me, didn't it? But I'm not gonna do that this week. I'm gonna go for Ipswich to win as well. Shock horror. This is the Battle of Colchester, Ben. The two best supported clubs in the little town of Colchester. West Ham. I'm going West Ham 1, Ipswich Town 2. I think that those West Ham fans are going to demand a win here. And what I will say in their favour is I could see Jared Bowen giving Leif Davis a really difficult afternoon because he can go on the inside and he can go on the outside. We've already seen right wingers give Davis a difficult game, but I think we're a dangerous counter-attacking side. West Ham are going to demand that they come forward with the ball, and I think we're going to be able to hit them on the counter. All eyes on Calvin Phillips as well, Ben. Can he do it?
Yeah. By the way, the public apology rule doesn't apply to any Ipswich games this season, so there'll be no apology to West Ham if they do beat Ipswich. But we've doubled up again, Mikey. What could possibly go wrong? First win for Everton last weekend. Everton versus Newcastle.
Yeah, who knew, Ben? All Everton needed to do this season to get a win was to just go behind rather than take the lead. It's the first time Dyche has been able to give them a bit of a rocket at half time, because up till now they've done all right in first halves. I know that I've read that NGI has been quite impressive for Everton, and obviously we've spoken about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but Dwight McNeil was the one that stepped up and scored.
What a goal that first one!
Palace. Fantastic goal, really nice finesse finish from him. I think he's been a good, solid player for Everton under Sean Dyche, but I think it's time for him and this team to step up and really produce numbers, because they've kind of lacked that in the attacking third. They haven't had a player that's been a talisman for them over the last few years, and maybe Dwight McNeil could be that man. As for Newcastle, did brilliantly against Manchester City. I had a feeling that Anthony Gordon was going to cause them problems in transition, and he did, and he scored. I think he'll be a huge threat again in this game. Obviously, all eyes on him. He's going to be getting a lot of heat off those Everton fans. I'm going to go for the draw here. I'm going Everton 1, Newcastle 1.
I've gone for a Desmond, so I'm also on the draw. I'm going Everton 2, Newcastle 2. I think it will be entertaining, and I'm standing by my theory that Everton weren't as bad as that. What did they lose? The first 4 in a row or something, didn't they? Yeah. I thought they were going to come good, and I think the goals are going to start to flow now. Entertaining game and a Desmond there. And I'm up first. Aston Villa versus Manchester United. Obviously saw Villa in the flesh on Sunday. Impressive football team, beautifully well put together, and they're back at home. We seem to have mentioned this game loads, but they play Bayern Munich in the Champions League, don't they, in between us recording this and that fixture. But Manchester United is a car crash, isn't it? You can just tell when, I know it's a cliche, Mikey, he's lost the dressing room, the players and the managers, just doesn't work, does it? So I cannot see Manchester United going to Aston Villa and winning. So Villa 3, Manchester United 1.
Okay, and this is traditionally a game, Ben, that Manchester United always win in the Premier League.
Always.
I can't bring myself to go for that. They even did it last season under Ten Hag. I think every time that Eric Ten Hag looks finished, he manages to pull a result out, and that is why I'm going for a draw here. I'm going for Aston Villa 2, Manchester United 2. United are playing Porto on Thursday night, so it's not going to be Thursday. Yeah.
Wow.
Whereas obviously Villa have got the harder game against Bayern Munich, but that's earlier on in the week, so they've got a little bit more of a rest period.
What an occasion that's going to be, by the way.
Yeah, superb. This is what the fans have been. Well, I don't even know if they had been dreaming of it, to be honest. I don't think they'd even considered that they were going to get in the Champions League. But yeah, incredible job Unai Emery's done. But I just fancy United to bounce back this week with a result against Porto and then a decent draw at Villa Park.
And it's Cole Palmer versus Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I've got it down as the alternative transfer strategy derby, this one. Yeah. It's hard not to predict goals at Stamford Bridge as well. With just they don't seem to be able to defend Chelsea, but Cole Palmer's just incredible, isn't he? And a really good partnership that he's forming with Nicholas Jackson as well. He's having a good second season for them. Forest have been a little bit disappointing at home, but have looked dangerous on the road, and they've got Morgan Gibbs-White back from suspension for this one. So I can definitely see them scoring a couple of goals. I don't think this will be a typical Nuno game. I'm going for a high-scoring one here. I'm going Chelsea 3, Nottingham Forest 2.
Would you believe that's a scribble? I have 3-2 down here. So, yeah, what I will do is I'll make that 3-1, and you can turn this down because I turned down your request last week. Can I have a bonus point if I go for back-to-back hat-tricks for Cole Palmer? So Chelsea 3-1 and another hat-trick for the bonus point.
Yeah, you can have a bonus point for that.
Get in there. That just means you're kinder than me. You got points.
But they could be 3 penalties, couldn't they?
Yeah, you got points to spare here, haven't you? So it is Brighton versus Spurs. Oh, crikey. This is a difficult one, isn't it? Brighton maybe are not as good as we thought they were going to be, but Spurs,
they've got quite a lot of players coming back this week, Ben.
Yeah.
Players that should be returning. So
Spurs,
João Pedro, Veltman, Van Hecker, Adingra, all returning.
Spurs I don't trust as much, but yet they had a really, really good win. If I'm going in on Spurs, it's just always famous last words, isn't it? Trusting Spurs. But let's do it. Spurs to go to the Amex and get the win. It'll be both teams to score, won't it? Brighton 1, Spurs 2. Not sure, though.
Yeah. I was trying to steer you in the direction of Brighton there, Ben, with the players returning, but I've also gone for a Tottenham win here. I've gone for Brighton 1, Tottenham 3. I think that Spurs are just quite streaky, and once they start clicking at the attacking end, things just seem to work for them. They've got a trip to Budapest on Thursday night. I've got my mate Alex, shout out to him. He managed to get a ticket for that one. He's looking forward to these more obscure Europa League games, and so they've got that on Thursday. But I don't think at the moment that's going to be too much to their detriment, because I think they just want games and they want to keep scoring goals. So yeah, I think this would be another entertaining game, but Brighton just a little bit too loose at the back. Brighton 1, Tottenham 3.
There you go. Mikey's going to be hoping for a repeat of last week where he scored 15 points. Let us know how you get on in the comments. Copy and paste the fixtures out of the description. We love seeing your efforts. And if you do score anything over double figures is good. Anywhere near 15 would be incredible. Let us know in the comments and we'll pin that one up high. Remember, give yourself a point 4 correct outcome, 3 for correct scoreline, and a bonus point. Everyone gets a bonus point if Cole Palmer scores a hat-trick this week. We just hand them out willy-nilly, but 5 goals or more and you get a 4-point score, your bonus point there. And we'll see if I can claw back some of the points that Mikey quite brilliantly accrued last week. And we will see you back, not next week because it's international break, but we'll be back in a fortnight's time with more Premier League predictions.